Welcome to Our Healing Voices podcast and YouTube channel. I'm Aaron Lahman, and this is episode 47. We've been on a bit of a freeze here the last 15 months since I last released an episode. Thanks to those of you that have been following along with the podcast and or YouTube channel. Thanks for your patience with my process over here. It's been quite the last 15 months or 14 months. I think it was last episode 46 was last May. So it's been a while. It's been a while. And yeah, I just wanted to hop back on. Today is July 9th and in 2024, and I am feeling present. I'm feeling present and I'm feeling like I am learning a lot right now. I would imagine you are walking through similar growth filled opportunities and growth filled days. Yeah, it's been a ride, and I just wanted to drop in for this. Could be like a 20 to 30 minute drop in, just kind of updating you on what's new in my world after taking quite a break. Um, so let's start with this. My wife and I are expecting a little baby here in the month of August. So we're about 6, 7 weeks away from little baby Graham arriving on the scene here on this earth. So we are in the mix of all of that preparation, both energetically, emotionally, physically, getting our space ready, and yeah, just feeling so grateful and so excited about what's ahead for us, and as we get to grow and learn alongside this new human, this old new soul who's going to come join us. So that is a big highlight in my world. Could be part of the freeze on the podcast. Let's be honest, right? Lots of different things have played into, yeah, what's been behind the hiatus or the break. So yeah, so we're in month. I think this week will be week 32 or something like that. So anyway, Sarah's been doing well, Graham's been doing well, and just feeling really thankful and also hopeful and prayerful that the rest of the pregnancy journey and the birth and the beginning stages all go peacefully and easefully, and yeah, and then we just dive in all together as we learn how to take care of a human. So anyway, that's new. What else has been flowing here? We also here in the last year and a half, really, we last August began construction on our house so that we could build out a little bungalow space. Because as we were really excited about um, having a baby together and beginning our family journey, adding to our family, we know that we love hosting and we love having people visit, both family and friends. And so, yeah, long story short, we had this vision of a little bungalow. And so we added on this like 308 square foot, one bedroom, one bath, with like an indoor outdoor living area that we are loving sharing with people right now. So that's been a new highlight. So that construction began in August and then finished basically end of February. So it was quite the process. Not gonna lie, it was emotional. It was intense. I probably have in my life tended to people please and not always spoken up for what I wanted. And let's just be real, doing a construction project and desiring certain timelines and not having those timelines be met really pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot during 7, 8 months when the build was happening. So that was that was a huge mind expanding experience. We have a lot of like things we would do differently if we do future building projects on this property or elsewhere. But all in all, feeling very thankful to be on the other end of the project and be already hosting amazing humans. So it's a little bungalow space. We're about a 7 minute walk from the beach. It's a yeah, we've got long story short, it's like it is attached to our house, so we share a wall, share some walls with the space, share a laundry. We do share the yard a little bit, mainly to like do some watering when we have guests in the space, watering our little garden, our mini garden, and some of our trees, and just taking care of the yard. Um, and it's also has a shared laundry. So anyway, that's been a big highlight. We currently have people in the space, and that feels amazing. And yeah, we're kind of right now just inviting people to come visit. With Graham coming so soon, we have we vision that we're going to have a menu available for people. And I'm just sharing this because maybe you'll want to come to Carlsbad and enjoy the bungalow space. Maybe that's, as you're hearing me talk about it, maybe that would excite you. But eventually we want to have a menu. And on that menu, we want to have our different offerings. So could be like a breakfast basket, could be a massage from me, or massage energy Reiki session from me. Could be a listening session from me. Could be a yoga on the beach, yoga class or a yoga session on the beach, private yoga on the beach with Sarah or me. Um, could be a little tour of the town, like an eating tour or a wine or beverage tour, coffee tour. So yeah, we're kind of feeling that out, but right now we're kind of like with baby Graham coming so soon, and then we'll just kind of probably 2025 kind of envision ourselves having more of a menu in place that we're excited to offer to folks who come through. So that's been kind of another thing happening over here. um, yeah, so that's been fun, really excited about it, really have been loving having guests come through, looking forward to yeah, seeing who else will come enjoy the space and make memories here in Carlsbad, perhaps some shared memories with us as well. So, um, yeah, so that's been happening. Maybe that's a part of the another part of my podcast hiatus. I think so. I think so. That would make sense, right? Um, yeah, if you're like me, right, you kind of just I've been telling myself since January that I was going to release an episode, and it just wasn't happening. And then I would say it again at the beginning of February. This is the month. I'm going to do it this month. And then I'd get to March and be like, okay, this month. And so, yeah, here I am on July 9th, and I'm finally saying yes and recording this episode. So here's to the journey, right? And being patient with our process. One of our guests, this brilliant yoga human man, of friend of mine, has done a lot of work with with teenage boys and helping boys become men, and just like some of the just encouraging emotional maturity, encouraging emotional awareness, encouraging creating safe spaces for young people to process and vent and move through things. And one thing he offered me when he was here was that this hiatus. What if this hiatus has been really about, because of all the learning, the new learning that I'm going through, and I just haven't felt compelled to share or to interview or to get back on the horse, and get back out there and teach and share what's happening. Maybe I just needed this time to learn new things, right? And so that could be like the whole process of the construction project. Could be Sarah and I choosing to want to begin add to our family, right? And that whole journey that we've been on and are still on. Um, Also, the grief journey. I was in a yoga class last night, crying, just feeling sad, feeling really sad at this yoga class, like feeling also really blessed. Like it was, she was singing and playing playing an instrument and singing, chanting, and I just like was lost in this restorative yoga class, just in tears and sadness and gratitude. And yeah, the grief is still very raw. And yeah, maybe you're walking through something similar, but for me, it's like I needed that class last night. And I'll just share one of the pieces that came to me, and maybe this could be helpful for one of you listening. Um, I, as I was, feeling my feeling my sadness, I was thinking about my mom, and I've talked about this with my dad, my sister, and my brother. The four of us have been meeting every Monday, kind of as like a grief share. We just get on Zoom together and drop in, check in. Sometimes it's all four of us talking about grief, missing mom, missing Deb. Sometimes it's just talking about life and other things, or planning a trip we're all going to take together or something. So it's not always a grief centric time, but it's been intentional. We put it there in order to show up for each other through this very hard time for each of us. So I was sharing with them, and I know I've shared with them over this last year and a half, because we're now, yeah, it's been since June, July of 21. 3 years ago, mom was diagnosed, stage 4 lung cancer, then was with us for 16-ish months. And what, okay, first off, wow, such a beautiful, such a beautiful blessing to be able to like walk my mother home or walk her to the end of her time here in her physical body. Yeah. Um, what a blessing. And I know my siblings feel the same way. My dad feels the same way. Those of us who are around her, my wife feels the same way. What a gift. One thing that I wish could have been different, right? Because you process, right? You process how somebody else chooses to live their last days. And I look back and I'm like, mom chose it how she wanted to choose it. And I'm so thankful. And I'm so thankful we all supported her and allowed, like, just showed up for her as she wanted us to show up for her. She was really direct. I thought we all did a really good job of holding space for the way she wanted us to show up. And also, after someone departs, right, we process through and we're like, oh, I wish this could have been different, right? Why did it have to be like that? Or what if we had done this like that? Or and so anyway, long story short, last night I'm in it. I'm in the feelings of missing her and thinking, wow, here is this woman who was a counselor who felt her feelings rawly, cried a lot, cried in gratitude a lot, cried in just overwhelm and just being with family and making memories with family, and was just very raw human, raw soul, who upon diagnosis was very clear with us she did not want us to um, grieve, like did not want us to grieve together, did not want us to be honest about our anger together. She really wanted us to show up in gratitude and positivity and cheerleading and encouragement and listening, and just um, total confidence that she would make it through this diagnosis, make it out on the other end, free, clear, lungs healed, knees healed, hips healed, um, in her physical body still. So we really just put on the positivity caps, like, and the positivity capes and the confidence and the belief, and that's literally what we just poured that into her as much as possible. And she, anytime we fought her on something, she'd be like, "Hey, don't, I don't want to drink, I don't want to drink the juices anymore. I'm done drinking the juices. Let me be." Right. So she, anytime we kind of pushed her in some way that she didn't want us to push, she'd let us know, and we would kind of pull back and go back to the positivity land, and back to the encouragement, and back to the belief in her positive healed outcome. Right. And so last night I was crying because, man, my mom at 68 years old was diagnosed. My mom, if any normal human, like I think any of us, right? If we got a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis, like let's just imagine stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis to Deborah Lahman, who has been processing her emotions way more intentionally than most, who has been supplementing her body and immune system um, with nutrients, with good, really good food. Like if I gave her a score, I would give her a really good score on her food intake over her lifespan, especially over the last 30 plus years, right? So there were all of these. If you got a stage 4 diagnosis after she never smoked a cigarette, never smoked anything, like, and got a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis, like, wouldn't you be kind of ticked? Wouldn't you be kind of angry? Um, she expressed anger once, and it was like a blip. It was like a 1 minute anger blip at the reality. Um, you'd be angry. Ah, right? You'd be angry. Like, no, this is not this. It's not me. Like that. No, no. Right? You'd get angry, and you'd also be like real freaking sad. Like, wait, like I'm not. She was having a blast with all of us, with her grandkids, with all of us kids, with her hubby, with her business, her Living Well Now community, her family, her extended family, right? She was like loving life. What? Wouldn't you be sad, like just shooken up? Wouldn't you just want to cry, like from sadness and anger? Anyway, if I had it to do over again, if I just wish something were different. So last night I was like, oh man, I think I'm crying. I'm still crying. I'm crying for the tears she didn't get to cry from sadness, or she didn't get to groan and be like, no, what? Why me? Like, no. And so I was like, that piece of like, but again, bless her heart, like bless how she chose it. And I just love her. And and I just am so thankful I got to watch her journey. And right, and also we learn from watching each other's journeys. And she's so happy that my siblings and I and our dad are all having like regular conversations, and our spouses are all doing amazing listening to us and showing up for Ange and Andy and I. And right, it's such a blessing to have support, and each of us has special friends that are showing up in really important ways. Um, and it's okay to process through that time, that those windows, these realities, and be like, oh, I win, like. So last night I was just crying and just like, oh man, just want to like hold, like I just am still crying, like giving her a hug. Um, because I'm sad, because I wished I got to cry with her and hold her and just be like, and just cry her as she would, like hold her while she was crying, feeling sad. Um, Instead, I got to witness her cry from gratitude as she soaked in every bite she took, as she soaked in every memory we all made together, right? In that last 16 months. She just was like in it. She was in it, with us and present, and showed up, still showed up so well for us, even through her hardest time. Um, and I just wish I had gotten to hold her. I just empathize for her soul, that her soul didn't have the opportunity to just like be raw and pissed off and be frustrated and sad, and to feel those feelings. So, um, Mom, thanks for allowing me to just be honest with this Our Healing Voices podcast community. I know you want me to keep sharing, right? I know my mom wants me to keep doing this thing, keep interviewing people, keep finding out what people are, how people are finding their way forward, right? I keep saying that since Mom passed. It's like we're each figuring out how to find our unique way forward, right? Because my sister's doing it a little differently, my dad's doing it a little differently, my bro's doing it a little differently, right? You're doing it a little differently. Your grief path, your life path, right? It all looks so different. So, and moving forward, how do we keep moving forward? And so, yeah, so building project, baby on the way, still grieving, part sad, and also like in a way more peaceful space about Mom's departure from this earth at 69 years old. I'm in a way better place today than I was a year ago, than I was 3 months ago. Um, Learning to find acceptance. Yeah, learning to find acceptance. That's not one of the most challenging things in life. Learning to accept what is. Dang. Learning to accept what is when you wish it were different. How can we learn to accept what is when we really wished it was like this, you know? And so it is a process, and it's not an easy process. Um, Maybe easier for some of us, maybe harder for others of us. But yeah, I just am grateful to be hopping on here for episode 47. Hope to have another episode coming soon. I'm not going to make any promises, but that is my intention. Is that I'm ready to be back on the horse, because uh, yeah, maybe this Our Healing Voices podcast and YouTube channel could be a space where we can grow together, where we can learn together, when we can like humble down together, be humbled together, right? I mean, if there's anything that I've taken away in the last 18 months since mom departed is, oh my, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Like the humility dose has been phenomenal. So maybe that's what this podcast, this YouTube channel is about. Is like just coming into each day with like curiosity, and like humble curiosity, like a not sure exactly what's ahead, but maybe we can learn together. Maybe we can, take a nugget from an episode that resonates with us, and like and and chew on that, right? Maybe something we hear could ignite a change in our life that we're ready for, right? And again, like I've had some great conversations here in the last week that have kind of propelled me to say, yeah, let's do that. Let's, right, to change. So being open to the inspiration of others, or being open to the hard journey of others, or being open to the education or the wellness path that somebody else has taken, and maybe maybe we all find peace together, a little bit more peace, a little bit more hope, a little bit more connection. and recognition of of our of our unity, of our oneness, of our shared humanity. So thanks for listening. This is episode 47 of our Healing Voices podcast and YouTube channel. I'm Aaron Laban. Definitely reach out if you've got feedback. If you have somebody that you'd like me to interview here in the coming months or years, I would love to get back on this horse. And I might not be riding the horse all the time, month to, I might have to take some hiatuses like I just did in order to go inward, take care of some other parts of my life, where then I can return with energy for this, to create this space, right? So, yeah, big love to you on your journey. Take what resonates, say peace to whatever doesn't resonate, and I'm just cheering you on as you find your way forward. Blessings and love from California. Adios.